All right, thanks so much, Stephen. The Way 31i team is digging into more problems with Alabama's parole board. Today we learned the board is letting 2 inmates out early, even though prosecutors fought it from happening. Way 31's Brecken Terry found out the district attorney even wrote letters to keep Michael Prater and Darnell Rice in prison, but the pleas went ignored.
Lauderdale County District Attorney Chris Conley told me he wanted both men to serve out their sentences for crimes they committed here in Florence. He even wrote letters to the parole board asking them to keep both men in prison, but that didn't happen. Michael Prater pled guilty to first-degree aggravated stalking and escape. The 2 sentences were supposed to run consecutively. The sentences would keep him locked up for 15 years. But the I-team uncovered Department of Corrections documents showing the state granted him parole in April after serving just 4 years. The parole board granted Darnell Rice an early release 7 years into a 20-year sentence. He's in prison for shooting a man in Florence. The I-team started pressing the Department of Corrections and parole board more than a month ago. That's when we were the first to report a man serving a life sentence was released on parole, walked away from his re-entry program, arrested on drug charges, let out, and is now charged with killing 3 people in Gunnersville. The I-team started looking into parole rates after Madison County Sheriff Blake Dorning ripped into the system late last week.
No, it don't work. Hadn't worked. It's never been proven to work. The thing about it is, if you're going to create a punishment, then do a punishment and then let it be done.
We uncovered of the 14,000 inmates let out last year, more than half were released early. We have requested information from the parole board as to why these 2 men were let out early. They told us we would have to send money to get the parole action sheet, which would show us why they were paroled. In Florence, Brecken Terry, Way 31 News.
Thanks, Brecken. Way 31 learned the man charged with killing those 3 people, including a child in Gunnersville, was still in contact with his parole officer after walking out of his assigned facility. Today, the I-team spoke with Jimmy Spencer's attorney, Robert Tootin. He told us Spencer talked with his parole officer even after he left his parole program in Birmingham.
My feelings are at this point, based on our investigation so far, is that they may not have known he had left.
Tootin told us he has met with Spencer several times and is still working with him to learn what exactly happened from the time Spencer walked away until police arrested him for murder in July. There's a status conference scheduled for the first week of November where the judge will meet with both lawyers to discuss the status of the case.